The Rich Lieberman Media Pulse is now live on YouTube. If you're watching live, great. If you are watching at a later time, welcome to the show. And um, so normally I'll give new programs some time before I'll listen or watch, etc., because I want to give people programs a fair chance to sort of ingratiate themselves, etc., be comfortable. But I wanted to listen today to this latest indignity on the Dead in the Water KNBR, as I call it, Daddy Radio, because the only people left on that station are the sons of the few people that work there still that are left. And these are mercenaries. These are basically older kids who are there because they fill a purpose, their bodies. They're not there because they're talented. They're there because they work within the financial constraints of Cumulus, having just fired Tom Tolbert, radio gypsy John Lund, who I guess by virtue of the fact that he's no longer there, that was no loss. But still, at least he had some element of credibility in terms of being able to talk functionally on the air. And now they have what I refer to as the breadcrumbs that are left. These are the little moleculic things that are there to serve a purpose and be basically zombies on the air, that they are, because they're cheap. Some of them make about $2,000 a month, and they rely on coupons that the station gives them so they can go out and get some McDonald's or Jack in the Box, et cetera, et cetera. So another of these breadcrumb programs, or as I refer to the daddy programs, because daddy got them their jobs, basically, took place from 2 to 4, or excuse me, 2 to 6. I only listened where I had to turn it off again because I couldn't subject myself to this putridness, called Dirty Work. Now, they're trying to be cute. They're trying to be edgy. These guys have no chemistry whatsoever. They just basically went on the air because one of them, well, really both of them, work within the confines of Cumulus math. They're cheap, their bodies, and then the rest are history, which is why they fired Tolbert and Lund and their other people. And now they have Daddy Radio. What do I mean by Daddy Radio? Well, from 10 to 2, Daddy 1, Greg Papa works with Daddy 1, and that's Greg Silver. Silver, the son of regular contributor Mike Silver, who got his son a job there. It's part of his deal. Not because of talent, not because of ingenuity. This guy he's not a guy, he's a kid. He looks like he's about 18 years old. Not a knock on 18-year-olds, but the ensuing Greg and Greg, how clever. That's the name of the show, from 10 to 2. Greg Papa and son of Mike Silver, Greg Silver. And that's a horrible program, I already have said. Makes no sense. It's predictably blasé and boring and, quite frankly, uninteresting. Then following that breadcrumb program, you have the latest breadcrumb program, which debuted today. And boy, the world waited. I'm kidding. You had the Dirty Work. That's the name of this new show, like as if it's really dirty. My God. The Copes. Adam Copeland, don't call me Adam, whose dad used to work at a Cumulus station and made a reasonably good settlement from KGO, which used to be a radio station before it died. You have the son of Brian, Adam Copelopes, laughs every second, Copeland, along with the new co-host, Derek, son of Greg Papa. Is there a symmetry there? They ought to call KMBR K. The N stands for nepotism. Everybody under the sun, the few people that still work at that station, they're all there because of Daddy Radio. So anyway, the new program Dirty Work debuted on Monday, and there's no chemistry. It's all dorky radio, and this Adam Copeland who talks is like he's a sarcastic little asshole, which he is. And now he's all of a sudden trying to establish rapport with Derek Papa, who's a producer who basically got morphed into this new gig because he works cheap. And yes, oh, by the way, he's the son of Greg Papa. It's all there. There's a certain symmetry there. Now, again, I'm going to give them a benefit of the doubt on this account. They're just starting out. But look, here's the deal, folks. If there is some degree of success there, which there won't be, but if there is, somebody's going to want more money, in which case it'll be a no-no because Cumulus is basically dying radio on the AM and FM front, and you have this dreck, and that's what it is. It's dreck. These two sarcastic little putzes, notably Copeland, who think he's God's gift to the world. And when I talked earlier about mercenaries, Copeland supposedly, he said this on the air when he was suspended and then they put him back on the air. He said, my dream was to become a talk show host, sports talk show host. I didn't care about anybody else. I just cared about becoming a talk show host. So Copeland doesn't give a damn who he works with or the other way around. He's on the radio because he could go tell his buddies, I'm on the K radio, when nobody's listening to the radio. And KNBR, once again, is dropping. They're dead, but they have some smidgen of life, I guess. And now that football season will probably not extend as it once had into January, they're really going to be dead. The Giants have made it known through industry circles that this is the final year of their contract and they're gone, whether they assign themselves to some electronic or digital platform on the internet, whether they go to another station like 95.7 The Game on terrestrial radio, who knows? But they're done with KMBR, which ironically might be a good thing for KMBR, considering that nobody listens to radio. Nobody listens to baseball anymore, other than old people, and that might be a godsend. But that's the good news. The bad news is then somebody has to appear on the radio on KMBR. And they have all these breadcrumbs, these continual fillers, the fill-ins like Kerry Crowley, like this joke, this putz who thinks he's hot shit, Dieter Kurtenbrock, whoever the hell he is. I think he's a newspaper writer, and they fill him in, and he's a perennial fill-in because he's cheap. They're all cheap. They don't care particularly about a fill-in status. We're just on the radio. That's what they give a damn about. And they can get away with it now, Cumulus, KMBR, because these guys have nothing else to do. Why do you think Kerry Crowley isn't full-time? Why do you think JD, whatever the hell his name is, technically is not full-time? Why do you think they had to poach Derek Papa with Daddy's help from the producer desk to put him on the air? Because he's cheap. He works cheap. And he's thrilled to be on the radio. Thanks, Daddy. And Silver, who sounds like he's about 19 years old and says nothing of any kind of value, is boring, disinteresting, etc., etc., etc. So this Cope's dirty work with Derek Papa was predictably awful. It's, like I said, so bad that it too eventually will become a statistic. I guess during football season, what is there, about 5 weeks left? It'll have some element of shelf life because what else is there to do? I have said all along, and I'm not gleeful about this, but in a way I could be. Radio, as it's known on KNBR, terrestrial radio, is going to be bye-bye. Everything's going to be going syndicated. Everything will be out of market syndicate. There just is no audience. It's dead. It is not advertiser friendly. It has breadcrumbs on like these frat boys and Uber drivers who basically like to tell their friends, girlfriends, boyfriends, whomever, hey, I was on the radio today, when nobody is listening. People are on their phones. People are watching streaming, that kind of a thing, which is why KNBR late in the game has made an attempt to become relevant, and they're not, by going to streams like Twitch or YouTube. But the success isn't there. They're just simply boring. It's dreck. It is latent crap. I could be even worse. I'm trying to be diplomatic. So this papa, no matter what it is, it just isn't interesting. You could put that in the bank.